everyone, welcome back to Rebecca's Colouring Arts and Crafts. So today I'm going to continue on with Fairytales by Emelie Lidhall Oberg. So I just want to explain, I know I'm a little behind in videos, but I am going to do the best I can. I've sort of had a big week. I've discovered that my right ankle is actually going to need surgery because I've completely torn a tendon in half, as well as ligament damage, and basically the only fix for that is to go through surgery. So first of all, I've got that. I've been going through things, I've just been going through a lot basically, and so I'm going to try and do what I can to get videos because my surgery is scheduled for the 5th of June, so it's a very, very quick schedule because I got the feeling the surgeon thought it was quite urgent to get it fixed as soon as possible, and I have to go to Wagga Wagga for the surgery. So yeah, I'm going to do the best I can to get videos prepared. For the meantime, I've got about 13 days to prepare videos, and I'm going to aim to have those uploaded and scheduled for everyone to see. I probably won't be doing much colouring in the beginning once this surgery is done, which is why I'm going to try and have pre-uploaded videos, but I'll probably, as I feel like it, do a bit of my review reading and stuff like that. I do have a book review here to do after this. But yeah, so I thought I would start with the bird here today. Oh, I still haven't done that bit. I still haven't done the little candy, the little stick bit in the cupcake. Oh well, we'll do that next time if I remember again. But I've decided I want to start with the bird today, and as I remember, or looking at this, the light source is sort of coming from this way. So I'm actually going to work on this bird for this part, and then of course we've got the flags and still the lemonade bottle and the other bird, and then backgrounds, which I'm going to research backgrounds, but I know it's been one that's been a long while in the works, but it'll get there. So I want to start with my Faber-Castell, Prismacolor Premier Dark Brown PC946. I'm going to bring my little cloth up here, and because the light's coming from this way, obviously the light sources will be sort of underneath, probably more center areas, because obviously you'd have the shadows under the wings and that, but up the top it would be more up the top area and there would be shadows. So we'll just start and work around it from there. I think the beak I will probably do a slightly different color, so I'm not going to worry about doing the beak for now. So the beak may be done next part or something along those lines. We shall work it out. But I'm also going to no, I think I'm just going to leave that bit. I'm just going to try to do a bit of lighter areas with the blending between these little spots, because I'm not sure, I might do those spots a different colour too, so yeah, we'll make it work. But this one kind of, because we've got the line here, I'm going to do our dark brown just along the base here. I'm also going to leave the eye empty for now, so I'm mostly just going to focus on the bird's body for this part, and then I will do the other parts, the beak, the eye, the spots later, because I think I may do the spots a different colour. I will see. And then we're also going to have shadows coming down, because on this side we would have the shadows here. So we're going to have the shadows at the bottom and at this side. And I'm just going to bring it up on a bit of a curve there too. And then just some light sources to allow for blending, lighter area to allow for better blending. So I'm just going to go along and do the brown. Obviously on this side of the neck you would have the brown on the side where the light source isn't coming from. So as you'll notice with all our other shadows, we've got all the dark shadows on this side, so we're sort of, I guess, following that mostly still. And there's little spot sort of areas in that here. Just thinking about this. I'm just going to pause for a minute and think about this while I get some music starting, and then I will come back and continue. But yeah, so it's just, yeah, unfortunately, but it seems like the new doctor that I've got, or surgeon, it seems like she is going to really be able to help me out, which is awesome. So hopefully she'll be able to help with the right and then maybe with the left ankle as well. But yeah, I will be back shortly and we'll continue here. I think these little areas, I think I am going to do brown, but I think I just want to leave the circular spots open. But I'm just going to start the music and I will be back in a minute. So hey everyone, I'm back. So we're going to continue here with the bird. I've decided, yeah, I am just going to do the circle spots a slightly different color, I think, but these little areas here I want to add dark brown. Not all of it, and don't worry about doing the little light shadows because obviously you might only fit a couple of colours in those spots, and that's completely fine because we're going to have obviously not every area is going to fit the 3 colours, but if you can get 2 or something in, it still works. Of course, sometimes you can only get 1, but I mostly try to get at least 2. And I'm just doing my sources based on where the light's coming from, so, and depending on where the lines or the patterns are, so you're sort of swapping it based on the lines. So here I'm doing it kind of, I guess, a bit the opposite way, so you'd have it coming up along this part and then along the neck of the bird. And I'm going to try and do some light shadows in a minute to allow it to blend easier. Obviously this one will be mostly dark because of the wing. I just want to try and do a little bit of light source if I can. Some of these areas are probably going to be quite dark because they've got quite small spaces. Do the best we can, but some areas will end up darker than others with only 2 colours as you go. But yeah, we can still make it work. But then other areas will have a lot more colours, like hopefully this area we can get all 3 colours in. So I've decided on 3 main colours for the birds, like I guess a bit of a brownish red I was thinking of for the bird. Just to that stand out a bit, like some of the cupcakes have a bit of brown, but there's not a lot of brown in here. It's a lot of candy sort of colours. So I thought, well, having the bits of brown wouldn't hurt. But yeah, I'm just doing some shadows. This area might not fit as many as I thought. I don't know. We'll see. But just because of the shadow from this little stick bit here, the little candy bit or waffle stick or whatever it is, took up more space than I realised, I guess. Well, made more shadow than I realised. I'm just quickly sharpening my pencil. There we go, perfect. Just to make it a bit easier to get in some of these small areas because it was just the same as it was when as it came. So it was originally obviously not hugely sharp because it didn't come sharpened like this, but yeah. And obviously I almost forgot there would be a little bit of shadow along the bird's wings too here. So it's not going to have as much colour there as it could, but we'll make it work. We will. And then, yeah, so pretty much I'm just trying to work out all the shadows going from our light source this way down. So as you look at it, I guess, rather than me trying to explain the way that I'm going for each one, because sometimes I'm not totally sure and I might change it a bit, just basically follow your gut instinct, and I'll try to show you on the image exactly where I'm going with the light sources, but as I can, basically I'm just trying to follow where our light source is coming from, which is this angle down. So it'll probably just basically following these sources of light, and I guess just doing the best you can. Like these ones have a couple of little sources where the light would be coming from, and so it's just changing depending on what the pattern is and where the pattern's coming from, where the shadows might sit, all of that. So yeah, I really hope that helps anyway, in its own way as it can. And just making sure that you do as much as possible, like our little shadow areas, to allow for blending the next colour in. Because it does make them blend a lot better. And I'm going to leave these little spots uncoloured for now in these parts of the wings and on the head and that, because I think I am going to do those a different colour. I may change one of the colours slightly to like a cream or a white or something after these. The ready tone, I'm considering. I'm going to keep thinking about it whilst I do this, and after this bit's done, then I will pause before going on to the next colour, and we shall work out, well, I will work out exactly what I'm going to do regarding if I want to keep the colours, but I'm thinking I kind of like these browny tones, and I'm thinking I might change the next two colours rather than the ready tones. I might keep it more of that sort of brownish tone, but yeah, I will work that out quickly once I finish, I guess, this part. But yeah, my mind, as usual, is changing what the colours I want it to be. I think I've got the colours, and then my brain just decides, no, I want a different colour instead. So yeah, not like it's unusual for me to do so. That's why I no longer announce all the colours before I start, because I tend to change too regularly, so I figure there's not much point announcing them all at the start when then I don't go and use those colours. If that makes sense. To the, oh, we've also missed one little spot here. Also missed the little leggy of the bird. And just making sure you have those little bits of light tones for adding it into there. Adding the next colour in, I mean. Not adding it into. Too early in the morning. I woke up at 10 past 7 this morning, and it's like, gosh. I was tempted to try going back to sleep because I haven't been sleeping well with my ankle, but I decided to get up and colour instead. So yeah, here we are. Yeah, I really hope you're enjoying this, and yeah, I'm going to do the best I can to get as many videos prepared in advance as I can before my surgery date, because as people who probably have had surgery or know, it's not easy to do this stuff when you're in a lot of pain, so, or feeling sick from medications or whichever. So I just want to try and get as much done as I can in the meantime before then and get it uploading. I will respond as I can, but I might not be responding all the time straight away either. If I don't respond straight away, I will aim to catch up with people later once I'm feeling better. And yeah, I'm just hoping it'll all work out well and for the best. I am. And we're just like outlining, like, even these areas where there are feathers. I'm not so much worrying about doing these looking exactly like feathers, because with all the patterns it's kind of hard to do that. If it didn't have all the patterns, I would probably try and make it look more like feathers, but with all these patterns, I want to follow the pattern of the bird and make it unique in that way rather than doing it realistic looking, because for this I kind of want it, like, I guess a bit fantasy-esque, which is why I've gone so many bright candy colours and all of that. And it is a Fairytales book, so obviously it isn't supposed to be a totally realistic book. So that's kind of why I'm not going with realistic birds or anything. Like, as you'll know, I have done realistic looking hair, and I really want to do some videos once I wrap up a few of the current ones that I'm doing with like realistic fur, depending on what the type of book is. Like the books with more pattern, I would tend to follow the patterns rather than doing it particularly looking like fur or any of that, because I kind of like just going by what the colouring book author has done with their patterns, and I like, I guess, accentuating on those patterns. And also sometimes I like to do it a bit more realistic looking, but if the author has done patterns on the birds like this, I like to really accentuate those patterns because I really like having those unique, interesting details. I do. That's just how I like it anyway, because I really love having lots of unique, interesting patterns and details. But then there are times, obviously, when if it didn't have all those details, I would probably do it a lot more realistic looking. I would say I would, but then it's the artist's prerogative anyway, so you do it looking how you want it to look, I guess, in the end. And me, I just really like following details and stuff, but like with my Summer Dreams one and that, I'm doing some things that, I guess that one's not really realistic either. I guess I really like the fantasy side of things, because obviously a nebula in the background. Obviously I haven't added stars and that in yet, but it is a nebula in the background of my Summer Dreams sketch and all of that, so I guess I'm not really following realistic there either, because I've always, ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved fantasy, and I don't tend to choose to do things realistic looking regularly. I tend to like to do things looking a bit fantasy-like and mystical and like not real, like a dreamland kind of thing. That's just how I like doing things, and I've always loved fantasy and reading fantasy novels. And whilst I still love fantasy a lot, like a lot, I'm discovering too that I do also like things like thriller novels and even some biographies and stuff aren't bad. So it's sort of, I guess, as you grow, you can still have one love, but I guess you can also add to those with other interests or loving other types of books and stuff. And that's what I really loved about doing my reviews, is the fact that I can expand more on the genres that I do love, and I can also, I guess, read more and try other genres that I didn't know that I was missing and that I find I also enjoy. So it's really good in that aspect, being able to review books and do all those sorts of things, because it allows me to see just what else is out there that I really didn't realise were options out there. Like, I'm surprised, since taking up all the colouring and reading reviews, I used to always think that I would love my computer games and love being on computer games and doing computer games, but I haven't played computer games in months now because they don't interest me like they used to. Like, on occasion I'll play a bit of a computer game, but it's very rare now if I do, because I would much rather be reading a book or doing my colouring videos on YouTube and all of that sort of stuff. So, and I find those are what I enjoy a lot more these days. So yeah, I guess as we get older, our interests kind of change. But I can't see my love for art or colouring or jewellery making or any of the rest diminishing, but whereas things like computer games just don't hold the interest to me that they used to when I was a lot younger. And I'm actually 33 as of last year, December last year. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of surprised at some of the changes that have occurred, but happy at the same time, because I found what I really love doing in my life, and that is my art and my reading and stuff like that, and I would really much rather do those things than play computer games or any of that sort of stuff now. And there's nothing wrong with people who still love playing computer games. I have no issues with it because I still like it, but it's not something I would specifically choose to go and do before my colouring or before my book reading for reviews or any of that, because now I would rather snuggle up with a book and read than go and play a computer game or stuff like that. And I see nothing wrong with that. It's just as we grow and get older, our interests change a bit. I still like them, but yeah, it's just not my main choice, I guess, these days. But everyone changes as they get older. There's nothing we can do about it. It just happens. So we're just finishing the last of this birdie's tail feathers here. I'm not going to worry about doing those spots this time, or the beak or the eye. We'll do that next time. We're just going to focus mainly on the body of the bird. As usual, as I've said lately, I'm finding I prefer to do about anywhere from half an hour to an hour length videos for the colouring, and so I try and choose something that I can do most of in that time. If I don't get it all finished, obviously I'll continue it next video. But yeah, that's just so that I guess it's not as long, so you're all able to watch it, I guess, in a bit of a shorter time span if you don't have a lot of time. You're not having to start and stop it too much, and just all of that sort of stuff. So I've just been finding that's how I like doing it at the moment, is just doing those, but some may still end up slightly longer. It just depends. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to pause there for the minute, since I've now got our brown done on our first shade, our dark shade of shadows done on the bird, and I'm going to go and actually get the colours that I really want to use with this. And yeah, I will see you back shortly. So hey everyone, I'm back. So the next colour I'm actually going to come in with is my Sienna Brown PC945, and I want to use that completely over our dark brown as well, just to get it all blended in. And we want to bring some of that out into these other areas too, so we're just blending it over all of our previous shadows and up, and giving it some of its own area to, I guess, shine, is it? I don't know. But yeah. As well as some little lighter areas as best we can to allow for our final colour after this. But some of these skinnier areas we may just have to, we'll do the best to leave space for the third light area, but just try to be careful to not completely take everything up with that brown in some of those smaller areas. Some areas you're not going to be able to avoid it, other areas you may be able to avoid it more. And I'm not doing those spots or the beaks or the eye this time. I'm not worrying about them right now. But I do want to go around those with these colours. little light areas for where we blend in our final colour once we get to it. Well, so I guess these are kind of a bit similar to our cupcake base, but at the same time not. I just decided to do the brown of the bird because I figured that way it would pop against the bright candy colours of the background. At least that was my thoughts on it anyway. And some of these colours, if I can, I'm trying to leave space for a third colour in these teeny areas, but if you can't, you can't. It's all good. We just do the best we can. And I'm just going to have to go and sort Lily out for a minute because she's barking out in the backyard, so I'll be back right in a minute. So we're back. So Lils is in. Little rascal she is. So we're just continuing with our sienna brown here. Trying to leave space but with a bit of light shadows. Bit of the light shading still to allow for blending with our final colour, but just do the best you can because these are very small areas and you may not be able to get all the colours into these spots, because I'm finding with the second colour it is taking up the majority of those spots. If I'm lucky, I'll get a bit more of the other colours in. If not, I don't. So don't stress about it if you don't manage to get them in there. But if you do, all the better. But at the same time, this is the underbelly of the bird, so it will obviously have more shadows than the top, but the top still has a lot of shadows too, so yeah, just do the best you can. We do. Sort my chair around it for a minute. This ankle's a pain. Pain in the butt at times. Oh. But it is what it is. Just have to wait for surgery to get things fixed with it. And hopefully it'll all work out. Hopefully it will. Oops, I missed one in there. I'm just going to come back in with my dark brown quickly, because there's a little spot in here that I just realised I missed, that I didn't know I'd missed. then I want to come back to my sienna brown, and I want to continue with going over our little shadow areas there. So as you'll notice, by the time we add this, there isn't a huge room everywhere for our final colour, but at the same time, I guess there are a lot of shadows and features with all the overlapping feathers and everything like that. So we just do the best we can with what we've got, and I'm trying not to go over those little circles as well because I want to do a different colour with them. Here's our little birdie's leg. Come up into the top area of our bird. If I can, I'm going to try and leave more light areas up there, but it just depends on if we can. As you'll notice, I've tried leaving light areas where I can, or some lighter areas where our final colour will go over the whole thing anyway, so it'll all blend in anyway. I'm just going to add just a little bit more of the touch of light sienna brown there. And then I'm just going to flip her around again, because for these first areas I find it's easier to have the bird on this angle, and then I find it's easier to flip it around the other way as you get further down the tail, and it seems to cause less hand cramps for me anyway. And now I'm going to flip it around again and line her up. So as you know, so the little brown birdie is coming along nicely. I just thought it would be a nice contrast to all the bright candy colours, because I figured I was considering doing brighter colours on the bird, but then I was thinking about it and thinking, well, brighter colours would probably take away from the bird a bit because of all the candy, strawberries, the coloured icing, the wrapping paper, the fruit. I just figured it would be better to have, even though the cupcakes have a bit of brown, there's still not a lot of brown, so I figured having the brown would help distinguish that bird from all those sweets. At least that was my thought anyway. If you want to do it a different colour, feel free. But I just thought the bird kind of needed to pop out from the sweets and the fruit, because it obviously isn't a sweet or a candy, and I didn't want it just blending in with all the other colours and maybe overdoing those colours. So for me, I felt the browns are probably better, but I'm considering putting a table in. I said when I first did this, I was thinking of a wood table, like a picnic table, but we'll see when I get to the background areas as to exactly what I do, because with how often I change my mind, there's no point trying to settle on an idea right now. Like, I can have ideas, obviously, but I'm not going to decide on a particular one right now till I've got all of these colours done, and then I can work out what works with all the different candy colours and the rest. That's just my plans currently anyway for it. And I'm also going to aim to do some just flip throughs of colouring books I have left to do as well. These ones will be different to the others in the way that they won't have talking. They'll just be put to music and basically be flip throughs with the music, just because that allows me to do some videos when there's other people around or other things happening that are a bit noisy or any of that, because I can get rid of the sound that is causing the noise behind them and put them to music that way too. And also just, I guess, I like watching videos like that, and whilst I like talking about them whilst I do it, it does make them take a lot longer. And so I was kind of thinking, well, people might want a faster video for just a flip through. That's not to say that in the future I won't do the talking ones again, but just because these ones have already been out for quite a long time and probably a lot of people have seen them, I just decided rather than me talking about them or whatever while doing the video, and as I said, because others were here, I just recorded them whilst people are here, and then I'm basically just going to mute out the sound and do it that way so that I can also have some flip throughs going up. So it may not be colouring videos each day whilst I'm away, but I'm going to try and alternate between the colouring videos and the flip throughs so that you still have a range of those things coming and going after I have my surgery as well. So I'm trying to plan as many in advance as I can. I haven't really got started yet, so I'm cutting it fine on time, but I'm starting now, and yeah, I will really do the best I can with things and see how much I can get done, and hopefully I can get enough done to cover a decent frame of time whilst I am recovering from surgery. And as I said, I may not respond automatically or all the time after my surgery, but I will definitely get back to you when I can. So we're just finishing the last of our wingtips and that on our birdies here. I'm trying to leave, as you'll notice, there is actually ending up a lot more lighter areas on the top of the bird, which is good because that kind of is the main area where our light would be coming on. But yeah, I really hope you'll enjoy these videos anyway. And I'm going to edit this one and upload it later today, and then I'll do a speed colouring version of it as well like usual. But I'm going to edit and upload this one, and then I'm going to aim to do more after that to, I guess, try and have enough. Or do the best I can to have as many as possible anyway. And I hope this explains why I haven't always been getting as many up as I want, just because of the pain. And like, I've been in excruciating pain some days, other days it's quite severe pain. It's really not fun, and the surgeon basically said you must be in extreme, in a lot of pain or really bad pain, because straight away what she said to me was that what I've done is not a common injury, and from what I've read online, it's actually quite a severe injury to completely split the tendon in half. Like, it's not torn lengthwise or anything, it's completely separated from each other. And I think that is partly why I'm being rushed in so fast to surgery. If I'd had more time, obviously I would have been able to have gotten more videos prepared or do a lot more in advance, but because of my private health and that, she's decided that she wants to do it as soon as possible, because I have completely separated the tendon apart from each other, and I've lost all the stability and function in my ankle because of that. And as a result, as I was told, the only way to possibly get that function and that back is to do surgery. So it kind of was, I guess, I was kind of expecting that it would come to surgery, but I didn't know just how bad I'd actually injured it and all of that. So yeah, fun. Guess I've done a good job, but what I've done isn't common, and yeah, so yet again I do what isn't common. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to pause here for a minute, and then I'll come back with our final colour, and yeah, I will see you back then. So hey everyone, I'm back. So I'm going to come in with my final colour, but I just want to say, to end that other one, I guess, at least the positive is, at least now I know why I was in such a huge amount of pain and couldn't weight bear and had lost the stability of my ankle. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to come in with my last colour here, which is Eggshell PC140, and I just want to bring that in over all these colours, and it'll sort of, I guess, as you can see, it's lightening up those colours a bit. I didn't realise it would do that, but I don't mind, because I kind of wanted those colours to blend in together anyway. And we're using this as our final light source colour, so you're basically just filling in all the rest of what's left with the pattern areas, as well as going over those other colours and just blending it all in together. We are, and going around and over and under, and yeah, it's good. I'm really happy with these colours. And it was sort of thinking about too, I guess, I can't remember who it was, but someone offered a suggestion of like tans and stuff for the bird, and it was a good suggestion. I think it was tans and mints and stuff like that, but I decided that I didn't want to do the greens and that, just because I have so many candy colours in the other colours and sort of some minty colours already. So yeah, I'm still really happy, and to that person, thank you for your suggestion. It was a really good suggestion. I really like how these colours go together. I'm glad I changed it from the reds, because it wouldn't have looked like it had the light source as much if I'd stuck with the reddy browns, I mean, for the bird that I was thinking of originally. So I'm happy. One thing I am noticing though, it kind of looks a bit, I don't know if it's blending in the back lines or what, but it's kind of changing those areas. I don't know if you can see the patterns as defined on there. Oh no, you can. That's good. I was just checking on the camera if you could still see the defined patterns, even though it was kind of, I guess the eggshell colour was kind of fading out the black lines a bit. So as you probably noticed, a lot of people do tend to go over the black lines with the white and that. I've tried that just casually on my own stuff, and I don't like the way it looks, so I don't tend to do that. So I try to, I guess, blend it in a bit with my colours or leave the black lines there. I'm not the type of person that tends to blend out the black lines with the white. I've tried and I just didn't like the way it looked. And with white gel pen, maybe white gel pen isn't the best, because I know a lot of other people use Posca, but I've heard and seen that the Posca can also cause bleed through on the books, and I don't want that. And a lot of the time I think it looks fine. You can actually blend in the back lines a bit with using your colours and cause them to not stand out so much. And so I guess for me, I've decided I don't particularly like using that, just from testers that I've tried on my own time, or as you've probably noticed in some of my books, I've started thinking I'll do that, and then I've decided I don't like it, so I quickly rub it out and, well, not rub it out, but quickly wipe it off before the ink dries, and then I'll colour over and blend that back in and fix it up, because I just didn't like the way it looked. So for me, I think I'll just keep doing it this way. I see nothing wrong with it. I think people get some amazing effects out of doing it that way. I really do, but it's just not the way that I like doing things. So I guess that again comes down to everyone's different. Everyone has their own ways that they like doing things. For me, maybe that's not the way for me, but I watch other videos and I do think that you can get some amazing effects from doing those sorts of things. So maybe it's not for me, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't work and it's not effective and it doesn't look great, because I really do like the way those look and the way people do those things. But just for me, well, I guess maybe gel pens don't work as well either, but I'm not willing to use anything that could bleed through my colouring books or wreck the page behind and stop me from being able to colour that in, and all of those things. Like, whilst I've got heaps of colouring books and I'm probably not going to get them all done in my lifetime, that is just how I like to do it. And I think I just went over that one with sand. Yeah, I think I'm just going to, with those spots, I'm just going to colour them sand. So that'll work. So I just go over those little spots with our sand colour in the end. That's what I've decided I want to do. I'm not going to add other colours in there, I just want them sandy sort of colour. But yeah, I think people do get amazing effects doing things like that, but I just haven't been able to make it work with what I have that won't bleed through the pages. As you've probably noticed, I don't use markers, I don't use any of those sorts of mediums, but yeah, some people do use gel pens and they work successfully, but for me, it's just not for me. I've tried it, but I just don't like the way it looks on my own images and the way I do them. I like to just work things in using the pencils rather than using the gel pen over it to create those light areas. Like, I really do like it. I really do like the way it looks, but it's just not for me in doing it in my own pieces. And I haven't been able to get it to, I guess, work like I would like it to, where it sort of looks, because I like the more natural look, and when I've tried doing it on my own pieces, I typically tend to get rid of it because it doesn't look as natural then to me. But on other people's images that I see, I think how amazing it looks. And yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about, I guess, because I wasn't sure if people were wondering why I didn't do that, because I know a lot of people do like to get rid of the black lines if they can. And you've probably noticed I just tend to blend in the black lines with the pencil colours and make it look natural that way. So I just thought I would say that is why I don't tend to do it that way, because I just find for me that is not a method that particularly works for me, and I don't particularly like it, and typically I get kind of upset with it and the way it looks when I do it. It's nothing to do with how I'm doing it, I'm just following, well, I'm just doing it like other people do, but I just don't like the effect of it on my own pieces. So, but then I love the way it looks on other people's pieces. So it's an amazing technique and something that works really well and looks really good, but it's not what I like to do. I like to do it this way instead. I hope that makes sense what I just said anyway. I really like how this is looking, because it looks completely different from the cupcakes in the end, which is great, because then the birdie has its own character and personality. I'm just going to sharpen this pencil quickly. Coming together really well. I really love how this birdie looks. And there we go. So that's our little birdie done. I'll just zoom out so you can see the image in full currently. I'll probably do the other bird with the same colour scheme when we get to it. In the meantime, I really hope you've enjoyed this part. If you have, please... Oops! There I go, throwing my pencils everywhere, don't I? Good one, me! If you have, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment, as I always love hearing from you. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye!